Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make this ruche shoulder gathers dress with a back waistline. So if you are interested in content like this and you are new to my channel, please do also hit on the subscribe button and please turn on the notification bell so you'll be first to get notified whenever I upload a new video. So this video is all about how to make these bags effects you're seeing right here, and how to make the gathers and of course the sleeve. So stay tuned and watch this video till the end. Welcome back guys. So these are the materials I'm going to be making use of. I have my black lining here, so you'll be needing a lining for this. But if you are making use of a crepe fabric, you can also use the same fabric for lining as well. All right, I have this black crepe I'm going to be using for the under bust area, and this is it here. I'm just going to make use of half yard. And then I have this beautiful Ankara fabric here. This is 3 yards of Ankara fabric, but I'll advise you make use of a crepe fabric. All right, you understand that better. So I used 3 yards of Ankara fabric, and I also have my pattern paper. So first we are going to start by drafting the upper part. So from the shoulder area, I'll come down by 1.5 inch. This 1.5 inch will serve as the casing for the shoulder area, like where we have to, like for the drawstrings. All right, so come down by 1.5 inch and then connect it into a straight line, and after then we are going to be taking all our vertical measurements. After connecting that, from the shoulder area, I'm going to place my tape and come down to my bust point. So shoulder to bust point, I'm going to mark 10.5. Shoulder to my under bust, 13.5. Shoulder to the waistline, like the upper waistline, I'm using 16.5. And after that, from that point, I'm going to come down to about 5 inches. All right, come down by about 5 inches, and that is going to serve as the area where we are going to be having our bags effect. All right, so once you're through with that, go ahead and connect all those points to give you a straight line. So for you to know the wideness of your pattern paper, from the center of your pattern paper you will need to go in by half of your shoulder measurement, and after that you are going to go in by how long you want your sleeve length to be. So I made use of 12 inches. I'm sorry I misplaced that clip. All right, so right now I'm also going in by 3 inches neck width, and I'm going to come down by 8 inches neck depth. I'm using a V neckline, and you can also decide to use a round neckline, and then I'll just go ahead and connect it into a straight line. So for the shoulder area, for you to be able to know the wideness, like I said, go in by half of your shoulder measurement and also take your sleeve length. That was what I did to get this wideness of my pattern paper, just the normal way you will cut out a boo-boo. All right, remember when cutting out a boo-boo on the shoulder area, after marking your half of your shoulder measurement, you're also going to be adding extra inches for the sleeve length. That was what I did here. So from this point, I'm also going to come down again by 8 inches for my armhole. So to get that, you're going to divide your round bust by 6 and add 1.5 to it. Whatever that gives you becomes your armhole depth. All right, so from the shoulder, go down by 8 inches for your armhole depth. So from the bust point area, I went in by 3 inches, and I also did same on the under bust area, connected it into a straight line, and then I used my curve rule to connect a curve to meet that area I marked. All right, that 8 inches point I marked. So once you're done with this, the next thing you're going to do now is to come to the bust area, and you're going to be taking all your horizontal measurements. All right, so go to the bust line, and from that bust line you're going to go in by your round bust divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch for your stitching allowance. You are going to mark on your under bust, you're going to mark your round under bust divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch for stitching allowance. And on the waistline, your round waist divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch for stitching allowance. And on the hemline, which is like the part where we are going to be having the pointed area like the V, the basque waistline effect, I will just mark only my round hip divided by 4. So I won't be adding any stitching allowance to that area because I don't want it to be too big. Alright, so I'll just go ahead and connect all these points, connect them down till it gets to this other area here. Alright, so on the part where we have our hemline, I marked my round hip divided by 4 without adding any extra allowances to it. So once you're done with that, to have like the basque effect, from that point where we have the hemline, you're going to now connect it to the full length. Remember, we came down by 5 inches, sorry, for the basque effect. So you are going to go down by, I'm going to show you guys. So I'm just using my marker to just like put down the name so that you don't get confused. So the bust point, under bust, waistline, and the hemline. So to get the basque effect, you're going to come to this point and connect it downward, and you can decide to do a straight, you can decide to do a straight line across, but I decided to make mine a little bit curvy along these areas here. So I'll just connect a curve. So just connect a curve this way. So remember, this is also like, this is the hemline and this part here is the full length of the upper part. All right, so I'll connect a curve this way. Place your curved ruler this way and connect a curve like this. You can decide to go with a straight line. I decided to just make a little curve this way. So the second line here is what I'm going to be making use of. I feel like the first line was a little bit too down, so I decided to go in again. So once you're through with this, you're just going to go ahead and cut this out. So please pay attention to the parts I'm going to cut out. But before then, from the shoulder area, I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope, and then I'm going to connect this back to my neck width. So guys, one thing I have noticed is whenever I'm making videos, sometimes my camera is somehow making my hands have like these dark knuckles, and it's not looking somehow like it's very weird, but I am totally sorry. I don't know if there's a way I can set up my camera to avoid all of this. Trust me, my hand is not like this, but I just had to like bring this up because it looks somehow like it's so dark. All right, and the fault is from my camera. So right now I will just go ahead and trace out all these points and the shoulders area, the armhole area, and the basque effect. I'm done cutting this, and this is how it's going to be. So this area is going to be pleated in. So when you pleat it this way, it's going to just fit in just like this. So we are going to do this together on our fabric. And remember, the same patterns I cut, I'm also going to use same pattern for both the back and the front. Like the back is going to be having the same neckline as well. So first of all, we are going to go ahead and then cut this out on our fabric. So the black is going to be having this part, and then this other part is going to be for the Ankara fabric. So I'll go ahead and cut this out and show you guys what it looks like. I'm done cutting this, and this is what I have. So guys, so on the neck area, I added 1/2 inch of stitching allowance, and around the back pieces you need to cut it 2 pieces. And what I did here was I forgot to add allowances for the zipper allowance. So what I did was to cut extra pieces and then join them together. So on the armhole area, add 1/2 inch of stitching allowance. On the sleeve areas, I added 1/2 inch, and then on the down part I added 1/2 inch as well, because you need to join them together. All right, so right now for the black fabric as well, I went ahead to cut out both the front and the back. So the back is going to be having a zipper allowance as well. So this is it here. And then for the For this other part, I added ½ inch of stitching allowance, and for the down part I added ½ inch of stitching allowance as well, because you will need to join it to the upper part. Then for the front bodice, you need to cut it on fold. Alright, so I also cut out lining pieces for this. So this is it here. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and keep this aside, and I'm also going to keep the back pieces aside, and then let's work on the front pieces first. So you're going to now remove all your pins on your pattern paper. So I'll remove all the pins, and I'm just going to open up this. So this is cut on fold, and this is it here. So by the time you make pleats, it's going to like fall into this. Okay, let's go ahead and open this black fabric here. So this is how it is. All right, so by the time you now make pleats on all this part here, it's going to like fall into place just like this. So this part is going to be pleated along the bust area. Do you understand? So what I'll do now is to get the midpoint of these front pieces. I'm going to notch it, and then I'm also going to get the midpoint for the black fabric here as well, and I'm also going to notch this part here. So once you've notched, you're now going to open that up, and the next thing we are going to do now is to now place those notch areas together, right side facing each other. So you are going to open them up this way, and you're going to now place them right side facing each other like this, and you're going to pin it down. So make sure your pins are close to you. You're going to pin it down this way. Once you've done that, you're also going to pick this part. So you can see you're going to pick this part right side facing each other and also pin it down. Make sure you pin those parts down. Alright, so you're also going to pin this part down, and you do same thing to the other side. So by the time you pleat in this part here, it will just fall into this, like something like this. So I'll repeat same thing to this other side, and then I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine and make pleats on it. All right, I'll make pleats on all this part here, and I'll show you guys what I had, so stay tuned. This is what I have after I was done pleating these areas here. So this is the neck area. By the time we fix in our ropes on the shoulder area, everything is just going to stay relaxed. So these are the areas I pleat. I made some pleats here, and I use ½ inch. So we're also going to repeat same thing for the back. So I'll bring out the back pattern as well, remove the pins, take away the pattern paper, and then bring the fabric. So the back has to be 2 pieces. All right, so because we are going to be having a zipper allowance at the back, we are going to be adding zipper to the back. It has to be 2 pieces. So notch that zipper area. I just notch the zipper area on the upper side. I'm also going to do that on the down part. So make sure to notch your zipper allowance area just like this. All right, so this is it here. Now I'm going to open up the back pieces. Like I said, it has to be 2 pieces. Can you see? And this black fabric as well is also 2 pieces. So make sure while cutting this, you don't cut them on fold. So what we are going to do right now is we are also going to repeat same thing we did for the front on the back pieces as well. So I'll bring 1 pieces from the back, and I'll place it this way, turn it over right side facing each other just like this, and I'm just going to pin down that point, pin it down, and then you're going to pick up where you have your notch on your zipper allowance area, place it this way, and also pin it down. All right, also pin it down. So you're also going to make pleats on these areas here. So you make pleats on this area, and you're also going to repeat same thing for the second part. So I'm going to repeat same thing here. I'll take this over to my sewing machine and make pleats, and then show you guys what it looks like. So guys, I've pleated the 2 back pieces, and this is what it looks like. I also went ahead to pipe the neck area, and what I did was to use a bias. Now I didn't have a black bias available at the moment, so I had to use this blue one, but I'm going to be replacing that with the black one later. But for the sake of this tutorial, That's why I just decided to use it. So I also did same thing to the front. So this is it here. Make sure you pipe your neckline and you have it looking like this. So this is how the front looks, and right now we are going to now bring our lining. So you're going to turn it over like this. All right, so you turn it over. We need to line this up with our lining. So what I'll do now is to place my lining on top of it this way. All right, turn it over like this. Place your lining on top of it this way, and you are just going to go over to your sewing machine and stitch on this area here. You are going to go over to your sewing machine and stitch here using 1/2 inch, and you're also going to pick up this side, fold in your fabric. I will fold in my yellow fabric and close up this side. All right, make sure your fabric is inside while you stitch that point. So fold it in and also close up this side, and you're also going to repeat same thing to this other side. Make sure you fold it in, don't stitch on your fabric, and also close up this side. I'm done, and this is what I have. I also did same thing to the back. I'm just going to turn everything to the right, and then I'll head over to the iron and iron this out. So make sure you do the same thing you did for the front. You're also going to repeat same thing for the back pieces. These are my 2 back pieces here. I also stitched down all these areas. All right, and this is what it looks like. So I'm going to take this over to my iron and give this a very good press, and then I'll show you guys. I'm done ironing this, and this is what it looks like. Everything looking very neat and straight. All right, make sure your iron is close to you. Now the next thing we are going to do now is to join the back pieces to the front on the shoulders. All right, so you're going to place them right side facing each other. Place the shoulders right side facing each other and pin it down. So I'm going to place my shoulders this way, and then I'm going to pin this down. After pinning this down from the shoulders, I'll come down by 1.5 inch. Remember, while drafting our pattern paper, we came down by 1.5 inch for on the shoulder line that is going to be serving as the casing for our ropes, like where we are going to be adding those ropes. Like, I hope you understand. So that's that 1.5 inches. You are going to come down. You're also going to repeat same thing to this side, and you take this over to your sewing machine and stitch it on that 1.5 inches line. I hope you understand. So on the part where I have my white chalk, I'll go over to my sewing machine and stitch down those areas, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. This is what it looks like after I was done stitching. I stitched down those areas, and then I'm going to now turn this over to the right side, go back to my sewing machine. I'm going to first iron out the seams open this way. I'll go over to my sewing machine and then fold in 1/2 inch and top stitch on it. All right, fold in 1/2 inch and top stitch on it. You're also going to repeat same thing to the other sleeve. Fold in 1/2 inch this way and this way, and then top stitch on it. This is it here. I'm done. After I was done top stitching on it this way, I also went ahead to iron it out very well. So now the next thing is now to pass our ropes. I have these ropes I have already folded, and it's 4 pieces, so that means 2 for each side. I'm going to now bring my safety pin and then use this now to pass the casing, to pass it through like this. So you're going to bring your casing, your safety pin, and then use it to pass it through this casing like this. Pass it through the casing this way, and when it gets over to the shoulder area, you're just going to remove it. So just watch what I'm doing. I'll pass it through just like this to this point. All right, pass it to this point. You're going to remove your safety pin, and then you are going to now pin that part down. Just bring out your pin, and then use your pin to just hold it down, and you're going to repeat the same process on the other side. Remember, it's 2, so you're also going to repeat the same thing on this other part here. you're going to pass it through this way. Pass it through this way, just like this. Please pay attention to this part. So no matter how, I don't think it's going to be difficult, but just try your best to like bring it out. Just try your best to bring it out this way. You can already see the effect on it. You already know what we are going to be having here, right? So try and bring it out this way, and you're also going to remove your safety pin, pin it down. You repeat same thing on the other shoulder, and you're going to take this over to your sewing machine and stitch down those parts to hold those ropes inside very well, so that by the time you stretch it, it's not going to like pull out. So hold it with a pin, take it over to your sewing machine and stitch down that area. Now guys, I have stitched this down. I also went ahead to close up the side, and this is how the shoulder is already looking. At this point, I was so in love with my dress because it was already coming to life. So it's now time to add the other gathers on the down part. You're just going to go ahead and then measure what you have around this point. Alright, so measure what you have around, and then whatever you have, you're now going to use it to make gathers. At first I wanted to make gather stitch, but I realized that since I am using Ankara fabric, it was somehow like very difficult and stressful. I have already cut out this fabric I'm going to be adding to the bottom part, and this is it here. I will just show you guys what I did. I folded the end of this here with 1/2 inch, and at the top here I also went ahead to like make gather stitch, but trust me, it didn't work out for me, so I later changed my mind. The length for this is 19 inches, so the length I cut out was 20 inches, and I used 1 inch to fold the end. So for the gather stitch, this was where I was trying to like pull it out, but I didn't really get what I wanted. I do when I used a crepe fabric, it would have been very easy for me, but this Ankara fabric, it was so difficult for me to pull on it. You guys know I love doing gather stitch, but I've never tried this with an Ankara fabric before, so it was very difficult for me. But I will advise, if you want to do this and with ease, you should use a crepe fabric, a material that is very soft. All right, so this is how it looks. I later changed my mind and I used gathers. I had to use pleats on the fabric, so I tried the other side, it didn't work. I had to turn it over to this other side as well, and still didn't work out for me. So please, when you want to do this, use pleats. Now the material I have here is 3 yards. The length of this material here is 3 yards. Okay, so if for instance, if what you measured is 48, you are going to multiply it by 3. It depends on how full you want the down part to be. You can multiply it by 3 and then use it to like do pleats. So this is what I have after I was done. I just hope you guys understand what I was trying to explain earlier. So after making my pleats, this is what I have right now. I'm just trying to arrange this so you guys can see how beautiful my dress looks like. So this is the area where I had to do some pleats. All right, on around the bottom area here I had to do pleats, not gather stitch. Gather stitch didn't work out for me here using Ankara fabric, so I had to use pleats. So this is how beautiful it is, and this is how my dress looks. I hope you watched this video till this far, and I hope you understood everything I said here. The comment section is very free and open for questions. You are free to ask questions, you are free to leave a comment, you are free to say whatever you want to say. All right, let me know what you think about this dress. I also went ahead to add my zipper to the back. All right, I hope I wasn't too fast on this particular video because I did everything at night, so I was already very tired. All right, so guys, this is how it looks. It came out very beautiful. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed, please do well to hit on the subscribe button, and please turn on that notification bell so you'll be first to get notified whenever I upload a new video. This was what my dress, or this is what my dress looks like. Thanks for watching. I'll be seeing you guys in my next video. Bye.